Okay, so let's talk about Talk to Me and its ending. This is the latest film from Michael and Danny Philippou, who used to have a YouTube channel, Raka Raka. And I caught this movie back at Sundance when it first came out. Like I've said this story, this was one of those films that everybody was buzzing about, so I had to check it out. And then I caught it again not too long ago. And let me tell you, this is one to definitely check out if you haven't watched it already. Definitely recommend you go watch it and come back to this video so we can discuss the ending. But we're going to go full spoilers here, so I've been warning y'all. So let's get into it. Before we do, make sure you're subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell. Once we reach 20,000 subscribers, we will announce a giveaway winner. So all you have to do is be subscribed and comment below you want to enter the giveaway. We are also going to be focusing on other things right now currently with the WGA and SAG strikes going on. So if you want to catch all of that, I'll leave a link to our other YouTube channel. We're going to be doing some more original projects and things like that, but we're still going to keep up with the news as well as reviews and criticisms here on this channel. But let's get into Talk to Me and its ending and what exactly happened. So this movie basically deals with a hand, a severed hand that's sort of like a statue-esque look to it. We don't necessarily know the specifics of how this hand was made, but this hand grants you the ability to talk to spirits once you grab it and you say, "Talk to me." You can even get the spirits to inside of you by saying, "I let you in." And so basically we see that this is sort of used for laughs and gags. This group of teenagers who use it to record their friends doing it and getting possessed and doing all of these weird, crazy things. We then follow Mia, who is this girl who's dealing with the loss of their mother. It's sort of a thing that's not really explained at the beginning what happened to their mother. We just know that it's just her and her dad right now, and she finds comfort in her friend Jade and her brother Riley, who are the closest thing to family she currently has at this moment. One day they go out to this party to see how the hand works and everything. Eventually Mia decides to use the hand as well, and one of the rules for this is you can't be connected to the hand for more than the seconds they tell you. If you go over, nobody knows what really happens, but they might just want to stay, as some of them point out, so you don't really want to be connected to the hands. Once Mia does this, however, the hand doesn't want to let go, and they have this sort of like attachment to Riley, the younger brother of her friend Jade, and they want Riley. They say they want to have Riley with them, the spirits. Eventually the time does go over, but they are able to free Mia by the end. But we got to remember, the time went over, so the spirits are here and they're lurking. And we see throughout that they are just sort of trying to get to Riley as much as they can. So one day Jade goes over to Josh and Haley, who are actually the ones who have the hand, to say, "Hey, we want to do this all over again because my boyfriend Daniel wants to try it out this time, and he saw what Mia did and all of that. And Mia as well wants to try because she says that it was like unlike anything she's ever done before." And so they decide to do it at Jade's house now. Now, during this whole thing, things start to seem like they're just going to be wacky and out there, right? The spirits possess everybody and they do all these crazy things, even like going on the floor and just like jumping around and things like that, right? It's just like completely, all right, this is just normal, whatever, right? And they're going to call it a night. And then Riley, the younger brother, wants to give it a go. Jade, of course, is like, no, we're not doing this at all. They get into a fight, Riley and Jade just storms off with Daniel. Then we see Riley keep asking Mia to please just let him do it. And she says, fine, you can do it for half of the time though that everybody else has been doing, and I think we'll be okay. So Josh, Haley, and Riley's friend and Mia all sit around as Riley goes and tries the hand, and eventually it starts to go downhill because now we have Riley being possessed by what seems to be the mother of Mia, although we don't know for sure if that is the mother or not, and I'll get more into that in a bit. The time goes way over the time, and then we eventually see other spirits sort of start to get into Riley's body, and they start to force Riley to bash his head against, and one of the most grotesque and brutal, I think, scenes we've gotten in horror in quite a while. Eventually this leads to Riley needing to be hospitalized. He's in really bad shape. Jade and her mother are turned against Mia because they feel this is all Mia's fault as well. Daniel eventually decides to take Mia back home, which is kind of a little bit of a predicament because they used to have a thing going on, but now Daniel has a thing with Jade. So Jade might be a little not too pleased to learn this either. We see that the spirits are still following Mia, and eventually Daniel gets a little creeped out by this and decides to leave. Mia then needs to figure out how to save Riley. They decide to ask Josh and Haley, how do we even combat all of this? Josh and Haley then let them know that the hand belonged to somebody else before they had it, somebody called Duckett that we met at the beginning of the movie, who we eventually see pretty much offs themselves and even stabs their own brother Cole. So they decide to go to the brother Cole to figure out what they can do about all of this. Cole doesn't really want to talk about it no more. He's pretty much like done and hates the fact that people are still using the hand because of what it did to his brother. But Mia, after pleading and pleading, Cole finally decides to say, you know what, the only thing you can do is just wait it out. The spirit will get out eventually, and the more he's able to fight it, the weaker it gets, so just let him ride it out. This doesn't really seem to be what Mia thinks they need to do, as the spirit of her mother is telling her that she needs to free Riley and just pretty much let him die. That's pretty much all that there is to do, according to the spirit who says is the mother, which I don't think it was ever. Maybe at a point or some point in the movie it could have been, but I don't think by the end of it, or especially leading up to these moments, was the mother at all. I think it was the spirit sort of being decoys and playing with Mia's emotions in order to get Riley, because once Riley would die, they would get full control of Riley's spirit and keep torturing him, as we saw. Mia sees when she does the hand ritual again at the hospital with everybody there, and we see that Riley's just being like destroyed, dismembered, whatever you want to call it, ripped apart, and it's just a horrific scene of like hell. So Mia decides that the only way to save Riley is to pretty much kill him, and this is what she's going to be doing now. So we see the night before she decides to do this that her father comes to talk to her about what exactly happened to the mother, and there's this suicide note that was apparently left by the mother that the father reads to Mia. Mia doesn't want to believe this. All her life she thought that it was just an accident, her mother didn't really do this, but her father's pleading with her, trying to let her know. And then we see the spirit that is saying they are Mia's mother is saying the father's lying, that that's an evil spirit and all of that. And we see in the other scenes that that is her real father, but then we see a spirit father come through and try to kill Mia. Mia eventually grabs some scissors, but as she's grabbing these scissors, the real father's coming as he hears all of the commotion going on, and she accidentally stabs her real father, leaving him there, in which I thought we were going to see the father die. So then we see Mia go back to the hospital, going to kill Riley now, and she tricks Jay to get out of there to come to their house, and we see that Mia takes Riley on a wheelchair and is going to throw him over the overpass of the freeway, kind of symbolizing how in the beginning of the film, Riley and Mia saw that kangaroo that was just pleading for help and all of this, and Mia didn't really do anything. In her mind, she says, I have to show mercy now, like I didn't show it in the beginning. And the ghost of her mother sort of pushing her to do this as well, because it's not really the ghost of her mother. I think it's an evil spirit that's sort of guiding her to do this because they want to take control of Riley completely. We eventually see, though, however, that Mia is the one that goes on the freeway, and I believe it was Jay that pushed her, or I don't know if it was Mia that kind of came to that conclusion. I had to re-watch it one more time to really get that, but from gathering my thoughts and remembering the movie, we eventually see that Mia is the one that goes on the freeway and eventually dies. We see that Riley ends up being saved over time, and he's back to his normal self, and we see the father as well didn't die. They made it after that stab from the scissors, but we see that Mia has in fact died, and then we start seeing everything go black, and then eventually a match lit is what we hear, and then we hear some people murmuring, and eventually we see a hand reach out, and it's the hand, of course, of the person that's about to do the ritual as well in another country, and everybody's just like, what? So now Mia is in fact that spirit that's going to possess somebody who is doing the ritual hand as well, and that's how the movie ends. So overall, I thought it was such a great ending, honestly, taking it all back. I think this movie, from its opening shot that was just so insane, honestly, that party scene, which is one of the most like insane scenes to watch all year, and especially seeing it with a packed audience at Sundance, it was incredible, honestly. And I think that ending as well just leaves everybody like, whoa, like mind blown, honestly. And so my initial thoughts and reactions to everything going on here is that Mia had been sort of tricked the whole time by the spirits into thinking that she has to kill Riley and all of this. That's just because they wanted to take the soul, and that was the only way they could be able to do so. I think Cole was right when he said that the body would eventually expel the spirit as long as they were kept safe in all of this, and so Cole really was right about it all, that it was going to come out of Riley eventually, and we do see that happen at the end of the film as well. So I think that Mia was pretty much being used by the spirits since the first time she like held on to the hand for too long. So the spirits were always there. They were just observing Mia and trying to find her weakness, which of course was her mother's death, which she never completely understood. And the father tried to explain to her everything that happened with the suicide note and all of that. But I think at this point, Mia had been so brainwashed by the spirits, she didn't want to believe any of this and just believed her father was just trying to hurt her, or that that wasn't even her real father, was in fact a spirit. And so by the end of it, it when we see that this is all sort of coming and clicking in Mia's head. I don't know if she was the one who like threw herself on the freeway, or if in fact it was actually Jade that pushed her. We can also see back that they actually might have closed the whole thing with Riley at the end when they did the ritual again, but they hadn't closed it with Mia, who had that door open as well from the beginning, and that's why Mia was still seeing the spirits and hearing them, but maybe Riley wasn't, and it was all in her head as well. So I definitely do think the spirits have been playing with Mia right from the beginning. That first ritual we saw at Haley and Josh's when Mia first did the hand. So that's definitely the great ending, honestly, and a lot of things to look out for. And I really did enjoy the film a lot. Like I've said, check out my review if you want as well, and more thoughts on it. And we'll definitely talk more about what could be coming next, because you know, I just don't see a sequel here, but I could definitely see some possibilities for it. When I went to South by Southwest, Michael and Danny Philippou talked about that possibility as well and what happened with that. So I do want to go back and talk more about that in another video. So stay tuned for that. And as always, if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We're going to continue covering news and movies and all of that here on this channel, but we're also going to be doing our own stuff as well in our other channel, but it's more on the production side, original stuff and all of that, movies, all that good stuff. So if you want to go follow us there, I'll definitely leave the link down below. But that's where we're going to be talking about the process of making our own stuff now. And I think this is just a great time to really start doing that. Like all of these things going on with the WGA and SAG, we want to be in solidarity with them and all of that. So that means that some things we might not be able to cover. And so I think this is a great time to really expand what it is we've always been trying to do. So we will continue to be in solidarity with them and just navigating how they need us to navigate in order for them to get the best deal that they can. So stay tuned for that. But let me know what you thought about the end of Talk to Me, and if you enjoyed the film or not, and comment below what you think happened. Anyways, as always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.